25 Days of Christmas.
Get a temporary pass and just kind of check them out.
It's like it's the countdown to the Oscars, and so they'll have like an opportunity. There might be someday in the future maybe an app where you kind of get access to everything. Yeah. You can watch it all.
That would be great.
That would be really cool. You heard it first from us. So let's get into our nominations and our picks. So we're gonna start off.
Okay, Nathan, you bastard. We did it, Jones. We're back. Favorite movie. Whew. Well, that was great. Anyway, I saw Nathan's video, and Nathan's back. He's made a video without me already. Well, anyway, if you're watching this today, my name's Chris. This is the Hurtastic Reviews. We are back. It's been quite a long time since we've been here. I mean, I guess I could start off with saying I'm glad to be back. I've been very busy with this last couple months, since maybe even the last video I made. The reason for that were just some unexpected events happened in my life that I had to kind of handle, so to say. But I was also watching a lot of films. Another really great thing is I finally have started my podcast channel. So not only can I annoy you on YouTube, you can, for some reason, listen to my voice talk about movies on your morning commute. So I'll make sure to talk about that just a little bit later. But if you're watching this tonight or this morning, it is Oscar night, Oscar day. And Nathan's video really inspired me, along with basically everybody else who's excited for the Oscars, to make my Oscar predictions of sorts. And Jonesy's looking at me like, you sure you're going to do that? But yeah, I am. The reason I haven't been talking about movies, especially like my favorite movies of 2019, which was an amazing year, or what I've been picking up on this for my collection, I've been saving on that. And also with running a podcast, I kind of want to do that with a couple friends. I think that'd be more fun. But down below in the comment section, if you want to see me talk about my movies of 2019 here on the channel and also on the podcast, then you should comment that down below. The reason for the dance was I like Joker. And I love some of the questionable things in that movie that made it so popular. And is it making fun of it a little bit? Yeah, maybe a little. But the reason for dancing is I don't mind if YouTube laughs at me for it. Because got nothing else to lose. No one can hurt me anymore. My life is nothing but a comedy. See what I'm talking about? I cannot stop quoting this movie. It is insane. But I want to talk about the Oscars, not just Joker, but I want to talk about a lot of the Oscar movies and what I hope to see at the Oscar night when it comes to the Best Picture. I've seen all but 3 as a disclaimer. If you hear noise in the back, that's Jonesy playing with her toy. She's already done with this episode. The movies I hadn't seen yet are Jojo Rabbit, Ford vs. Ferrari, and 1917 were the 3 movies I haven't yet to see. I know, I'm the worst. But I've seen everything else, which are the other nominees, because there's 9. I saw Parasite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, The Irishman, Joker. Am I missing anything else? Little Women, and then so that's 6, and then the 3 I missed. So yeah, there's 9 right there. This year, past 2019 was amazing for film, and I think the Oscars really missed out on a lot of fantastic films to cover. But who am I to know? You know, I'm just the guy who watches movies, so it's like my opinion really doesn't matter on the case. But you know what? I will say this though about the Academy: you people, the system that thinks they know so well what's right and what's wrong, also gets to decide which movies are good and what are not. Just to reference Joker more, because it'll probably get a lot of wins for the amount of nominations it has, which is insane to me. But I'm not gonna. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of quotes from different movies we talk about tonight. So with my Oscar episode, I want to talk about is just one of my thoughts and opinions on these Best Picture films, and I'd love to hear in the comments what you think is gonna win and why, or what of these movies were your favorite. I'll talk a little bit about that. And to start, I think the first movie I want to talk about is my favorite movie of the nominations, and I hope it really does win. And I want it to be, I thought about it really hard, but I think it's Marriage Story. I really want Marriage Story to win, directed by Noah Baumbach, because I love Noah's directing and his writing. And Adam Driver in Marriage Story is phenomenal. What? Hold on a second. Blow out the candles, Robert, and make a wish. Want something. Want something. Someone to hold me too close. Someone to love me too deep. Someone to sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Yeah, that's another movie I can't stop quoting and or singing and bugging my friends on Snap with that. So I'd love to hear your comments on that down below. But no, Adam Driver's phenomenal in this movie, and Noah Baumbach, I think, directs debatably his best movie. I still love Frances Ha to death, but Marriage Story, I think, is the accumulation of most of his work put together to perfection. And it was on Netflix, so I really hope a lot of people got to see it. The Meyerowitz Stories is also on Netflix too. But it's been nominated for Best Original Screenplay, Best Picture, obviously. It didn't get a Best Director, I believe, for Noah, which is baffling to me. He really should have got it, because he actually shot the movie on film. You know, it was on 35, so that's a real bummer. The next movie I definitely think deserves is Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho. Parasite is a foreign film from South Korea. And man, if there's close to a perfect movie, that's probably it right there. And I think it will win, honestly, and I hope it does, because I think that means a big deal to the film culture when it comes to foreign films. And the Oscars is supposed to be for films in general, but I mean, I don't think foreign films get really recognized like they should. And I think Parasite is that movie. I thought Roma was going to do it, but I think Parasite's finally going to be that movie that makes that breakthrough for foreign cinema to break into the norm and mainstream. So Bong Joon-ho is a fantastic director. The only other film though I've seen with him was The Host, and that was pretty interesting. Another movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino. The Dude Bros didn't like this movie as much, which is kind of nice, but also kind of a bummer, because I see a lot of negative talk about it on Film Twitter. You really need to get your act together. We're here to talk about films and not just hot take, I don't like this popular movie everyone likes. Nobody cares. It's your fault you don't like it. That's pretty cruel, but what I mean is, like, if you don't like it, I mean, find some good stuff you'd like to talk about it, you know? Why rain on our parade? But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, who I think is the best buddy partnership since maybe Tango and Cash, which we've talked about on this channel before. But Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor. He plays an actor in the movie called Rick. His name's Rick Dalton, which is really great. We also have Cliff Booth, the character, his stunt double, which is played by Brad Pitt, who's from Missouri, so near this area. So he's got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and so does Leo for Best Actor. We'll see how that goes. I think Brad Pitt has it locked up, but there's one other person or two I think should give him a run for his money, and I could not be mad if they won. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's just all about old Hollywood in the 60s. It's recreated. It's about the Manson murders in a way, but I'm glad it doesn't focus on it as much. Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate in the film, and I think the direction that Tarantino did for that character person, I think, is amazing, and I never would have thought to do it the way he did. So I mean, I think those are my top 3 movies to win. Yeah, but those are the 3 movies I'd love to see win for Best Picture. After that, our movies I wish did a little bit better, and I'm kind of surprised they got nominated. The next movie I guess I'll talk about, The Irishman. Let's talk about The Irishman. I saw it in theaters. It was playing at a small independent theater here in town. The length is something. I mean, I love long movies. Don't get me wrong. I saw Seven Samurai. That was really fun. The Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions are easy. The Godfather films, I like long films. And when it comes to Scorsese, you usually get a 2.5 hour runtime anyway. But this one, I felt its length, which usually I don't like to critique the movie for. But man, it really kind of hits the vibe in like a wrong way, because it's like you have that movie playing and you're seeing actors you love together doing really fun stuff and being really serious, and it's cool and violent, but then it's like at some point in the movie you're just kind of like yawn, just old guy, okay, boomer stuff possibly, but man, it is a movie I will say that you watch and you put in the background and you have a good time for the first 2.5 hours, I would say. It stars, it's a Martin Scorsese film starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, who I think is freaking phenomenal, that film, and Joe Pesci as well, who came out of retirement, and he is amazing as his character. Also, it has Ray Romano, who I actually like in a small role. The movie garnered some attention because not only Scorsese's comments about the MCU, which if you want to listen to my podcast, I talk about that a little bit, so I'll plug that down below. But it did the de-aging process that that's been popular lately in film with the leads, and I didn't notice it as much the first time, but man, that second watch, it was blatantly obvious which parts were not well put together, especially when you have De Niro stomping on this guy like an old man and he's supposed to be in his 40s. It's kind of gets you off the mood a little bit, but I mean, it's tough because like you want to keep seeing De Niro on screen, but he's just getting older. But it's a very violent movie. It's probably Scorsese at his funniest, I think, in a long time, since maybe King of Comedy. There's so much fun stuff that's going on, and Al Pacino's so great. Whenever he goes like, "It's my union. I'm failing to show an appreciation." No, come on, they wouldn't dare. That's my Al Pacino old guy impression. But man, The Irishman is great. I wish I liked it a lot more, but it's a movie I'll continuously rewatch, and hopefully I learn to love it. So there's that. The next film I want to talk about is Little Women by Greta Gerwig. Man, talk about the comfort food, feel-good movie of the year that came out at the end of the year. I never saw the other interpretations of Little Women. I didn't even read the book. But once I saw Greta Gerwig was directing it, right after Marriage Story with Noah, I was in cinema heaven. I love Greta. Lady Bird I already made my top 10 of the decade, and I can tell you now that Lady Bird is on that list. So if you want to see maybe a video of that, comment that down below too. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to make you work on down below in the comments. It's been a while. But no, Little Women starring Saoirse Ronan, Emma Roberts, and Florence Pugh, and Laura Dern, and the youngest sister I can't think off the top of my head, and Timothée Chalamet as Laurie. Man, it's just such a feel good movie, and it's really well directed. I think it's underratedly well directed, because Greta Gerwig didn't get a Best Director nomination, which is baffling because the movie is very well shot. The leads perform top notch. Florence Pugh and Saoirse Ronan both, and Laura Dern have nominations. Laura Dern has a nomination for Marriage Story, which I think she should have got for Little Women instead. But you know what? Laura Dern's Laura Dern. As long as she's getting nominated, I'm happy. But let's see. It's just sweet. It's sad. It's got its really great moments. And you know what? I think Greta Gerwig didn't get as much of a praise like she did for Lady Bird. I think that's a bummer because I think she's really great. I think she's up there with her partner Noah as doing some of the best filmmaking out right now. I want to see her go back into acting too. I still love seeing her on screen, especially like in Frances Ha. I also have the big crush on Greta Gerwig too. So hopefully she watches this one day. But I don't think Little Women. I hope it gets a lot of acknowledgement. I don't see it winning Best Picture though. I just think it's just a little below, kind of like with Irishman. I think it just misses a few marks. The next film I want to talk about is Joker. I mean Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, the guy who did the Hangover movies. And I hate to be that guy who's like, man, like he did silly stuff. He shouldn't be making a new realistic movie. But it's better than Peter Farrelly, I guess, with Green Book. But back-to-back comedy directors turn Oscar winners. I don't know if I like that trend as much. But Joker was a movie I came in with very interesting expectations, especially when all the hype before the movie came out. Basically, people decided if they loved it or not before the movie freaking came out. Freaking came out. Excuse me. I'm very passionate about Joker. It's that movie where I quote and I pretend to like more than I really do because it's just a very fine, average, good movie. But it has no business being 11 nominations compared to its contenders. So, and I love Joaquin Phoenix. I really do. I think he does a very good job as Joker. He really I don't know. It's just interesting the way he portrays the Joker. I never would have thought. I mean, I guess on the trailers it really showed what kind of Joker we were going to get. And it's like, because it's DC, it's also like said it's a known universe, which is interesting for like comic book movies. But man, it's really hard to root for Todd Phillips. I'm not going to lie, when you watch the movie. This movie gets bashed on or like obsessively gets praised as well. And I like to be on the side of pretending to absolutely love the movie when I really don't. I just rewatched it the second time and it's fine. I don't hate it or like it any more than my 3.5 star out of 5. But the thing is, I think Joaquin Phoenix is going to get the Best Actor award. I don't want him to. I think Adam Driver could surprise, which is funny because he should be the one to win it regardless. It should be like, yeah, he wins it. Easy. But I think Joaquin might get it as sort of Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant nod, where he's been nominated for amazing stuff and just comes out the same years as Daniel Day-Lewis makes a movie or something, and he just misses out. So I think he might get it for Joker, which, I mean, Joker's fine, you know. It has a lot of moments that are interesting, so there's that. So, and I wish I could talk more about the other movies. Well, I think I can kind of piece it together a little bit. Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi directs. Scarlett Johansson gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress on that, just like she's gotten a nomination for lead in Marriage Story. Jojo Rabbit is a coming of age film that I really wish I saw in theaters. It just the times never matched up. I see it being criticized as well for no reason, so I can't really say to it. But I think if I did see it, I feel like I really like it. It has that Wes Anderson type of vibe to it. And Taika Waititi is amazing, so it's nice to see him get acknowledged. The next movie, Ford vs. Ferrari, Dad Movie of the Year, maybe even of the decade. I'm surprised it even got a nomination of sorts. I mean, James Mangold directs it, and I guess I should be surprised because it stars Christian Bale, and he's got a Best Actor nom. So it's like, oh, Bale's going to be in it. It's probably going to get overblown anyway. I have strong opinions on Bale anyway after I saw Vice. But yeah, there's the Dad Movie of the Year. I guess 2019, my friend Daniel was telling me, who he runs a host of Cobwebs, which I'm spending too much time on, I feel like, just talking about movies there. He said it's like 2019 was like the dad year. I don't know why. I didn't see really many dad films, but what do we mean by that is like if you go see your dad, take your dad to see it, he's gonna like think it's the best movie ever. He really seen like maybe 2 movies that year. Let's see. 1917 by Sam Mendes, who won for American Beauty. He's back for this Roger Deakins cinematography film that looks like it's doing the one take shot, kind of like what Birdman did when it won Best Picture against La La Land, or Whiplash, excuse me. I just pulled a Warren Beatty right there. But now when Birdman beat Whiplash, which I think is insane, it was because of the one take. It just was edited together to look of sorts. And I hear 1917 is a fantastic war film. I wish I got a chance to see it. It just came out so late. And I got really busy because that's what happens. Well, for the Oscar night, I'm going to be at the Alamo Draft House in Springfield with Nathan. He invited me and my roommate Seth and his girlfriend, and we'll have some other people there with us, and we'll get all dressed up and make our Oscar predictions. And I think my Oscar prediction is, which I'll probably be saying on his channel, is I think Marriage Story or Parasite will win Best Picture. I'm happy with those two, or even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood winning, just because that movie's freaking phenomenal as well. So, it's been a very interesting year for the Oscars. I think compared to 2018, I think 2019 is a lot better. However, I think there are a few movies that were missed, and I think it's unexcusable. Things like Us, The Lighthouse, Pain and Glory, Rocket Man, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Detective Pikachu. And number one for sure, The Farewell. Those were movies that I think were grossly snubbed at the Oscars. I don't know why the Oscars. I mean, A24 in general usually does well, but man, 2019 was like the A24 year to end the decade, and most of those movies just freaking phenomenal. If I had to take any of those movies, The Farewell needs to go in and replace probably Joker, and then I'd probably put The Lighthouse in for a few more nominations, especially for script, directing, and supporting actor for Willem Dafoe for sure. Other movies that came out, Uncut Gems came out, which I hear. I went to go see it. I have my opinions on it, but it was very well received, which was nice to see. I like to see more movies like that be displayed at the Oscars instead of at the Indie Spirit Awards, you know. But we'll see. Us didn't get as much love as Get Out did for Jordan Peele. I thought it would be great to have Jordan Peele with Us kind of go up against Greta Gerwig like they both did in 2017 with Lady Bird and Get Out. But I'm not part of the Oscar panel, unfortunately. So maybe they'll have me on there one day so I can decide what movies have to go on there or not. But anyway, that's my Oscar predictions there for the best pictures. I don't want to go too in depth about the actors and such. I think those are up for debate. But I think the best pictures are definitely up there. Also, I'm really out of practice because I haven't been on here lately. But like I said, I have a podcast channel now. So it's called the Hurtastic Podcast. I actually created a website for it too that has links to the podcast and to this YouTube channel. So make sure to always have that up on your bookmarks so you can always click on it and check it out. I'm going to start putting written reviews on there as well. The other thing is I am on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter. On Instagram, I probably wouldn't recommend following me. They're pretty cringy and goofy. So, that is the Hurtastic 2019 Oscar predictions for Best Picture. Well, like I said, thanks for watching. My name's Chris here at the Hurtastic Podcast, and I hope to hear what your thoughts are down below. And good night. And always remember, that's